Show you one other thing first. JavaScript is not a classically object-oriented programming language. It's not like Java or Ruby or some of those. But it is object-oriented. It has something called prototypal inheritance instead of classical inheritance. Now, we're not going to get into the gruesome details of how prototypal inheritance works. But in ES6, we do have the keyword class. We can create classes. Just when it comes to actually inheriting things and so on, don't expect it to behave exactly like classically object-oriented programming languages. If none of that means anything to you, then you're probably not going to care. So what if we made Mega Roster a class instead of just an object? Let's make another class first, just to see what the heck these things are. Let's make a class called Dog. We name our classes with capital letters, by the way. And let's just do that. Refresh the page. Is dog defined? Dog's defined. Notice there's no parentheses here, just curly braces. Now, what if I say let Fido equal new dog? Fido. Ooh, now we see dog. What if we convert that to a string? It still just says object, object. But hey, this is neat. Now there's nothing in there. What if we want to give dog a method of bark? Console log le woof. Refresh the page. Now can I just say dog.bark? I cannot. Dog.bark is not a function. But if I say let rover equal new dog, rover.bark console log le woof. So you get what's happening here? I can create new instances of this dog class, and each of those is a dog. So what if I have... notice, by the way, no comma. This is not an object literal. This is a class. And in class, you just put the methods in there. You don't need commas between them. What if I want to keep track of how many times I've barked? Console log le woof. Wonder how this works in here. If I say, could I give it like a... Let's say, if this dot bark count, this dot bark count we'll do a plus plus prefix instead of postfix. Same thing, increments it. Else this dot bark count is 1. Let's make a new dog here. Let rover equals new dog. Rover bark, le woof. Rover bark, le woof. Rover bark, le woof. What about rover dot bark count? 3. So this does a thing. That's kind of nice. Now, what if... Who has a dog? What's your dog's name? Cooper. Let Cooper equal new doggo. Cooper dot bark. Now, what's Cooper's bark count? 1. And Rover's? Still 3. So this dot bark count can have a different value for each instance of the dog. It doesn't go with the class. It goes with objects that were created from that class. What if you want something to happen as soon as you first create a new instance of a dog? First of all, that act is called instantiation. When I instantiate a new dog, you can have a function that runs right off the bat. We call it the constructor. Just name it constructor. And it'll automatically be the thing that happens when you first run it. So we could, right off the bat, just set this dot bark count equal to 0. Then we don't have to do this little safety check here. Let's see if it's true. Who else has a dog? Jimmy, what's your dog's name? Bruno! All right. I like that name. Was it this class or the afternoon class where I called someone Bruno yesterday? I thought it was the afternoon. Yeah, I happen to have done that yesterday. Equals new dog. So what's Bruno's bark count? It's not undefined, it's 0. So if he barks, it goes up to 1 without our safety check. Neato? It's pretty neat. I like it. Yes.
Can we keep track of all the dogs that are now?
No! No, I'm sorry. Go.
Can we keep track of all the dogs that are present? Because now we have like 4 dogs, but we don't remember all of them.
So there's nothing inherent in class that's going to do that for us, but they're just objects. So you could certainly put those in an array or something. So, yeah, we could have said let dogs equal array. Let Bruno equal new dog. Yeah, I didn't refresh the page. So Bruno's already a dog. So I could say dogs dot push Bruno or whatever. Nothing inherent in classes that does that for us, but this, I don't think there's like dog.instances. No, there's nothing like that. So, what if we made mega roster itself a class? So class capital M mega roster. No equal sign then. This is not an object literal. This is a class definition. At the end, instead of calling init, student list, you can just say new capital M mega roster. Let's try passing a variable in there. So instead of a init, we'll have a constructor, right? And now we said we don't have commas in between these now. Don't have to do that. So again, these aren't object properties. like that. We could just, when we run the constructor, set, could do it after we grab this. This dot students empty array. I no longer have any squiggly lines. Was it going to still work the same way? Refresh the page. Hey, it still loaded these things from local storage. That much worked. Can I promote one? That works. Can I delete one? Can I add one? That was easy. What did that gain us? We could have more than one roster on the same page now. Because this .students is just for that particular instance of mega roster, the one that we instantiated down here. Now, I didn't happen to save that to a variable, so I can no longer just say mega roster dot something to check it from the command line there. But I also didn't create any global variables except for the class definition itself. Now, I could have just said const mega roster equal new mega roster, or const roster equals that. And maybe I will. That'd be easier to troubleshoot. Then I could say roster dot students. And I don't have to change my code because there were no references to that as mega roster, right? Because I used this inside the object, the fact that I changed the name of the variable that the object happens to be saved to doesn't matter. So it's just another pattern of doing this sort of thing. It's a pretty good one. And significantly, we're going to be using classes once we deal with React. So since we have plenty of new concepts to introduce with React, best if you don't see classes for the first time. Nothing too mind-blowing there. Convert mega roster into a class.